Hello and welcome to another part of the 2019 Fire Emblem Heroes Year in Review, where I analyze some of the heroes that were released this year. This video aims to recommend some builds for the Legendary and Mythic heroes released this year, and how their stats should be put to use, and in general, how to use the heroes you can get from the respective Legendary or Mythic banner, or their reruns every month. I'll also give some backstory and reasoning towards their Legendary odds or Mythic versions. Each month, near the 27th, we get a Legendary or Mythic banner, and if in the previous month there was a Legendary banner, we get a Mythic hero this month, and it works in this rotation. These heroes are only featured on future Legendary or Mythic banners, with the rerun scheduled every time they reappear. For example, Legendary Celica just released, and her rerun was scheduled for late April 2020. And well, I'll also not be including Legendary Azura in this list, because even though her banner was up in 2019, she launched in 2018. And for some reason, Celica is in this list as well. A Legendary hero is a hero that always has either a fire, earth, water or wind blessing on him, and he can grant an effect to all heroes on your team with the same blessing as him during its respective season. So if a Legendary hero is a fire Legendary that grants speed, during fire season, all allies with the fire blessing will get an HP and speed boost. The seasons rotate weekly, and the Aether Raid seasons, Astra, Anima, Dark and Light, also rotate in the same fashion. While Mythic heroes, those who come with an Aether Raid's blessing, only grant this effect on Aether Raids, while granting its allies more buffs than normal, at the cost of only working in that game mode. There's also another difference between Legendary and Mythic heroes, which is that Mythic heroes affect your Aether Raid scoring, being those the Anima and Dark Mythic heroes to decrease lift loss when failing to defend, while the Astra and Light blessings help gaining more lift when winning in offense. There is proper math to be done, and taking into account the number of Mythic heroes and merges and the number of allies, but for the sake of simplicity, these Mythic heroes can increase lift gain or decrease lift loss. For serious Aether Raids players, these mean a lot, because only with those your Aether Raids team can go against tier 25 teams and very expensive builds. Now for the actual heroes, we start off with a Mythic hero, Duma. The Fell God is the final boss of Fire Emblem Gaiden, and it's re-released, Shadows of Valentia. And he's the ruler of the Regalian Empire, where strength is its main force. And since most of the game is played against Regalians, Duma is essentially the main antagonist as well. In Fire Emblem Heroes, he's a colorless armored dragon with pretty insane stats to go with him. He starts off with his high 40 attack, which goes even higher with his Fell Breath, a 19 Might Breath, with the potential to get plus 6 attack when its effects trigger, which requires foe's HP to not be full, granting him attack rest plus 6, and it also stops foe from making a follow-up attack. He gets to really insane attack stats capable of one-shotting many units, and with his low 21 speed, he really needs this effect not to suffer from doubles. But that's just not it. Because its weapon's effect triggers easily due to his C skill, Upheaval, it inflicts 7 damage on all foes on turn 1, inspired by his own attack in Shadows of Valentia. This effect is amazing because unless foe has a way to heal himself, he is staying with this low HP, which is also often not enough to proc Desperation or Brazen skills for the enemy, which allows Duma to get his weapon effect and also help many allies to get the similar effect, such as Kronia for example. In Aether Raids, it also has the potential to destroy offensive structures in his row, which allows him to ruin many strategies while only requiring it to be Anima season. This alone is already great synergy, but Duma also gets pretty insane defenses, especially with the plus 6 rest from his weapon and Death Rest solo, to get to really high defenses even running this encounter easily, which is a pretty common tactic in Aether Raids. He also gets Bold Fighter to double, while he could also use Vengeful Fighter with this encounter. Even at low merges, Duma and his high BST are worthy of the title of God, being a great unit for Aether Raid's defense and any mode really. And the next hero is Legendary Roy, a sword infantry unit, the main lord from the Binding Blade, which is usually enough to get the title of Legendary Hero, being a Lord. He has the Fire Blessing and the Parry Perfect, so you can essentially use Roy as 2 units. He comes with good attack and defense and great speed, at 34 attack, 32 defense and 38 speed respectively, which would already be great, but he also comes with bonus doubler. So any buffs on him will be doubled, which combos with his C skill, Human Virtue, a skill that can grant him and his allies grant him and his adjacent non-beast and non-dragon allies attack speed +6, which can make for +12 attack speed for Roy, making him a really powerful unit, reaching 50 speed easily. Other skills that grant him more defense are also good for defensive builds, such as Death Wave Seal. But about his weapon, he comes with Dragon Bind, and it's a sword effective against dragons that also has this encounter embedded onto it. And with his high bases and bonus doubler combo, he can even survive and counter-attack kill some mages. He's a unit that doesn't require that much investment to be great, while requiring more from his allies to get the full effect of bonus doubler. While his B skill might be the only thing you want to change, since it doesn't benefit him that much at all. And the next unit is Yoon, a green tome flyer with the dark speed effect. Yoon was once part of the Goddess of Dawn, Ashunera. Ashunera's emotions became Yoon, the Goddess of Chaos, and the rest became Ashera, the Order Goddess. With little spoilers, Yoon is Mikaya's bird, and you can see that from her Brave Vault. And well, Yoon was sealed in a medallion, and as Radiant Dawn stories carries on, she helps along Ike and Mikaya. In Fire Emblem Heroes, she is a really powerful unit centered on her resistance, which starts off strong at 37. She also gets +3 from her tome, Chaos Manifest, which helps along when proccing Sabotage Rest 3, which grants her more damage, and her own C skill, Chaos Named. It inflicts -5 on the highest stat of each foe within 3 columns centered on Yoon, only if these foes have 3 res less than Yoon, which covers a pretty huge area and is generally useful for even more debuffs. It of course depends on which stat is higher on foe, but it can also inflict the -5 on 2 stats. What makes her accessibility to the buff so good is her weapon, granting Yoon attack +6 during combat, and granting her a guaranteed follow-up attack, only if foe has a penalty on him, which makes her a really powerful unit that is really hard to be tanked, considering her initial 33 attack, and the buffs and debuffs she can get. The guaranteed follow-up effect really helps with her low 27 speed. She also gets attack res bond, which really helps deal even more damage and get more res only adjacent to an ally. While there are better skills like Death Blow that benefit her attack much more, and for my personal favorite, Mirror Impact. It's way more expensive, but you get more attack and res, and you stop foes' follow-ups on initiation. Now back to our Legendary Hero, we have Legendary Om. I'm going to double this up with Legendary Celica, because both have almost the same stats and builds. Both are the leaders of the protagonist's forces, for Fire Emblem Echoes and Shadows of Valencia. Sorry, Gaiden and Shadows of Valencia. The Deliverance and Celica's army. Celica's army doesn't have a name, but still, the Deliverance is Alm's force. While both unite in the end to found the United Kingdom of Valencia, with Alm and Celica as its king and queen. Their outfits are inspired by the DLC promotions to Conqueror for Alm and Regain for Celica. The reason I'm doing these both heroes is not only because of the same builds and stats. They're practically the same. Same weapons, same stats, and both are pair-up legendaries, with Alm being an Earth hero while Celica is a Fire hero. What makes Alm really strong, I'm starting off with Alm. What makes him really strong is his Luna Arc, a bow that boosts damage equal to 25% of foe's defense, which will always mean damage. Alm essentially cannot be blocked. It also grants him speed +3, to make him even more speedy, and always double his foes, reaching 40 speed with it equipped. Luna Arc's also really powerful considering his high 37 attack and his own special, Lunar Flash, which would reduce foes' defense by 30%, and boost damage by 20% of Alm's speed, which is a weaker Moonbow with a weaker Regnal Astra with weaker cooldown, lower cooldown. Since Luna Arc already guarantees the death reduction, the effect to reduce foes' defense is nullified. So when Lunar Flash procs, it only leaves the speed part, which is really what matters for him. Since his special only deals more damage equals to his speed, a combo of Flashing Blade, a combo of Darting Blow 4, Brazen Attack Speed, Swift Sparrow are pretty good combos, and with this, can make Flashing Blade proc easily, and get Lunar Flash instantly. So he'll make for an amazing offensive unit, allowing him to wreak havoc against any unit that faces him. He also gets no follow-up, to not get his follow-up stopped, or from receiving doubles from the enemy, which is good, but I mean, Desperation is usually a better choice for him, especially when going with Brazen Attack Speed, or even any Brazen skill at that. He has low defenses, but that really doesn't matter, since what he needs is to go in and kill, and that I can assure you he can do this. And as for Celica, everything I said about is true for her. They have the same stats, almost the same stats, because Celica is a little more res and a little less defense, and 1 point over offenses at 38-38, while almost 37-37. The difference is that Celica is a green mage, which means she can actually benefit from the weapon triangle, something can't do. But she also suffers against red units a bit. The best part about Celica is that usually units with high defenses are way more common and popular than units with high res, which essentially gives Celica the upper hand, allowing her to deal overall more damage against almost all units. Celica also combines Desperation with no follow-up for her B skill, at the cost of losing her own special, with Glimmer also being a good and quick choice for her. She also gets Attack Speed off and Swift Sparrow 3, so there's even less need for fodder. It's cheaper. Since I'm already talking about an offensive green infantry mage, why don't I talk about Thruster? She's one of the antagonists of Book 3 in Fire Emblem Heroes, and one of the OCs. And as the story progresses, we learn she's Veronica, just from an alternate world. She's a really powerful Anima Res Mythic hero that has a pretty similar stat line to Celica, with low defenses and great attack speed. She comes with Fifth Finger, a tome that, just by being effective against dragons, already makes her an amazing unit to pull for. Her color is also great for killing blue dragon especially, like Naui or the powerful legendary Tiki. Since she's an Anima Mythic hero, who was also made for using Ether Raids, her tome makes an especially good choice for your team. Aside from the dragon effectiveness, Fifth Finger also grants Thruster +4 to all stats if there's an ally within 3 spaces of her, which is almost always going to happen, but at the cost of inflicting -4 to all stats on the nearest ally or allies, if 2 or more are at the same distance. That makes it good to plan out things and considering when to attack with whom to prevent this effect from stopping your allies. Her base attack of 33 is already kind of good, but considering how many buffs she can get and how many debuffs her foe has, she's a dangerous unit to face. She inflicts debuffs on her foe because of her B skill, Killing Intent. It allows her to make a follow-up attack before foe can counterattack, only if there's either a debuff on foe, or if foe's HP is not full. So it's a great combo with Savage Blow, Duma's Upheaval, or her own Panic Smoke, which is already great and one of the most powerful skills. And it also inflicts Speed Res -5 on foe, which allows her to make quick follow-ups and deal more damage. And she also gets Flashing Blade 4 to deal 5 true damage, and to get instant Moonbow procs, which allows her to confirm the kill pretty consistently. And for our first Astra Mythic hero, we have Naga, a divine dragon worshipped as god in Arcanea, Jugdral, and Elise, and defended people by granting them weapons that could kill dragons, including the Book of Naga and Falchion. Just by saying she's an Astra Mythic hero, she's already a great pull for Ether Raid scoring, because before that we only had Air as an Ether Raids hero that can boost your lift gain. But aside from that, she's a blue flying dragon with really good attack speed and okay defense at the low to mid 30s. While none of them shine at all, so they're good, but that doesn't guarantee a kill or follow-up or survival. That is a problem, but her breath makes up for it by granting her +3 attack on top of its 16 might, and being effective against dragon foes, which is really nice. But where she shines is that it grants +3 to all stats for each ally within 2 spaces of her, with up to +9 to all stats. It's really amazing and makes especially good combo with form skills, especially considering her A skill needs to be changed because it's a pretty inconsistent skill and it only works on Ether Raid, so if you're using her in any other mode, this skill is completely useless. What makes her a great unit to pull for is her support skill, or C skill, Divine Fang. It grants effectiveness against dragons to all allies adjacent to her at the start of turn, which turns any unit into a powerful dragon killer. And that turns one of the most powerful classes in the game, dragons, Manakits, into rubbish, due to getting one shot by many units getting Naga support from Divine Fang. As for Eliwood, he's Roy's father and one of the lords in Blazing Blade, later becoming Marcus Ferre. He gets really high attack stat, starting with 36 base and getting Death Blow 4, along with the 19 might Ardent Durandal. He also gets mediocre speeds of 34 and really low res of 16. But what makes the Sword Cavalier shine is his support ability. Starting from his weapon, Ardent Durandal grants bonus doubler to the ally with the highest attack on your team, which can affect also many units at once, as you could see from his legendary hero battle. That bonus doubler is backed up by dancers, which can wreak havoc with the help of Legendary Azura or even other powerful buffs on your team. Or even from Eliwood himself, because he gets Rally Speed Rest Plus and his own Vision of Arcadia, a C skill that grants attack defense +6 to the ally with the highest attack if on your team there is a beast or dragon ally. So it makes for a total of attack defense +12 for the ally with the highest attack on your team. And that solidifies him as one of the best supportive units in the game, while still maintaining a really high attack to make him a good sweeper, running heavy blade combos with ease. Even Gale Force, he can truly make use of the cavalry movement. And on 3 Houses Month, also known as July, we got the Dark Res Mythic Solthus, a mysterious figure that appears in Byleth's dreams. And I'll stop there since the game is kind of new and some people didn't clear it yet and don't know who Solthus is, so that's it for her. And she's a dragon who is not affected by dragon effective skills, so there's no falchion that will kill her. Her skills complement her base speed of 39 to whopping 45 with the help of attack speed solo. Sorry, that took long there. And with a speed boon or more investment, she could go up to the 60s easily. For her, the more speed the better, since her special boosts damage by 30% of her speed, while also recovering some HP along. Because of this, she's able to sustain herself on the long run and even solo some teams, with this encounter emmed onto her weapon, and a self-healing special with 2 cooldown, along with an attack capable of killing many red and green units on 2 attacks. Wrath and Time's Pulse can essentially reduce her cooldown to 0, making it a fast and damaging special. Overall, she has some of the best skills in the game, and the stat line that makes an amazing unit for PvE and PvP content. Especially because of Sirius, her special. It deals more damage and heals her, which I think is what shines for her. And because she is essentially a magic sword user. And our next legendary hero is Julia. She has the Naga Holy Blood, which allows her to use the powerful Naga Tome, a Dragonbane weapon. Her ability to wield such magic is used to defeat Julius, her twin brother, after his corruption by Loptus. Legendary Julia has a build focused on her attack and res from her weapon, A and C skills, which all shape her up to become a threat on the player phase when she initiates and activates Mirror Impact, which also stops you from making a follow-up on her low speed. She gets attack +6 and res +10 from Mirror Impact, attack res +6 from her weapon, and attack res +5 from attack resolve. That's just about as much res as she can get, and it all comes on her base kit, which makes her the best dragon killer unit, along with an amazing mage tank. Tashu comes with Light and Dark, a skill that inflicts -2 to all of foe stats, of neutralizing their buffs, and neutralizing breath effect, which is to deal damage equals to the lower of foe's defense or res, if foe is ranged. Which makes her as much of a dragon killer as Legendary Marth, as as really anyone. She also has a dual effect, coming as the second part of being a nerf pair-up hero, which lets you use 2 units on one, along with a BST boost that really helps when trying to get high scores in arena, even at low merges. Altena, the Bjork Astra attack mythic hero, was one of the warriors that fought with Ashera to take down Yoon. Her blades were blessed by Ashera to be able to pierce Yoon's divine protection. She comes with 38 base attack and a speed in the low 20s, making her not the fast and strong archetype of swordswoman in Fire Emblem Heroes. Her attack is amazing, but the dynamite from her weapon might not be enough to kill bulkier foes, so it's best to invest on attack skills or capitalizing heavily on Ashera's creation. Ashera's chosen. To compensate for her low speed, all those points are going towards her defense and res, which make her overall a pretty hard unit to take down in one hit, unless you're Reinhardt or Ophelia. It's also good to invest on skills that boost her defense and res. She comes with Ragnar Wallenite, a dual blade with distant counter, and the biphrasal brave effect. So on both enemy and player phase, you attack twice consecutively, regardless of foe's or unit speed. Her special, Twin Blades, is exclusive to her, and has 2 effects once it activates. First, it boosts damage by 40% of her resistance, which is weaker than Iceberg and does half damage of Glaciers, but also has less cooldown than the 2. If that wasn't enough, her special also disables damage reducing skills like Brave Ice or Vaughn and deflect melee skills. Ashera's creation is also exclusive to her, but it takes the A slot, and has an effect similar to Iota's Shield and Dragon Skin, which is to neutralize effectiveness flying bonuses, such as the one granted by every single bow in the game. Not only that, she also gets Attack Defense Solo 3 effect, so when she's not adjacent to any ally, she gets Attack Defense plus 6. But the difference is that it can also work if she's adjacent to only Beast or Dragon allies. Vantage is also one of the most basic skills for biphrasal brave weapons, and works wonders with Ragnar Wallenite. It is also a great combo with Brazen skills for extra damage when her HP meets the 75% HP threshold. And Attack Defense Soul should help Altena tank some melee units, along with having a combined effect with her A skill, Ashera's Chosen, only if all adjacent allies are either Beasts or Dragons. If not, only Attack Defense Oath is being activated and not Ashera's Chosen. And talking about biphasal brave weapons, we have Leaf, Prince of Leonster, one of the starting forces of the Resistance Army to take back Thracia from the Lapter Church, and later he fought with Sigurd to free Jugdral from the Grand Vale Empire, later becoming its new king. He gets Mr. Bogan as his weapon, which works in the same way as Ragnar Wallenite, with the biphrasal brave effect, but he does not get this encounter since he's already a Bow Cavalier. Leaf is able to utilize his cavalry movement properly due to his high attack and guaranteed follow-ups, which usually mean guaranteed kills, starting with 38 base attack, and getting more with the help of his A skill, Attack Rest Push 4, A skill, which is Attack Rest Push 4. Usually, push skills aren't very good at its tier 3 counterpart, but the tier 4 gave it such a better boost, and now it's a consistent and good skill. And he also gets help from his Defense Smoke C skill. The rest he gets from his A skill is strange to a Bow Cavalier, which usually prefer high speeds, but Leaf has 22 speed only. So it's best to invest on his defenses, which are 29 and 27, while it could also be a better option to use Death Blow 4 or an offensive, other offensive skills. That also benefits his attack. He also gets a 3-turn Gale Force special, 3 cooldown Gale Force special, which usually he can't get because he's a bow unit, but when he can act again from his special Njorn's Seal, he gets his movement restricted to 1, which means he can't hit and run, so he needs to go all in or get the help of Restore Plus staff. Leaf is an amazing Bow Cavalier all around his attack, making full use of his high movement and new weapon and special combo. Our next mythic hero is the Lightspeed Puny, a Lucifer that just got released along with Book 4 in Fire Emblem Heroes. And there's still much we don't know about her, aside from being a fairy. And she has come for free for everyone that clears Book 4 Chapter 1, which is already a kickstart into merging Puny. She's a flying blue tome dancer, and is basically Legendary Azura. But when Legendary Azura does not require that much strategy and only grants buffs, Puny enables many options for her allies, at the cost of high planning to fully utilize her Gentle Dream support, which is a dance slash sing. I think it's sing, but it grants +3 to dance ally stats, just like many other dances, and it also grants everyone in cardinal directions of her or target ally air slash ground orders and +3 to all stats, which covers the same area as a Ruse skill, but focuses on her support. It covers a pretty huge area and allows any units that were within this area to get +3 to all stats, and to be able to move to any space adjacent to an ally within 2 spaces. Her weapon, Flower of Joy, is also made for supporting cardinal directions, which makes her amazing as a support unit, while having in mind her low stats and BST. But she also has amazing fodder and amazing skills and potential for ether raids, by being a light blast hero. Aerobatic is also a really great skill for her high movement through your allies, and an amazing support skill that can turn many units into rest tanks with a +7 buff to it. 45 rest 4. Almost had 45 rest 7. And Puny was made to be a powerful dancer to dethrone Azura in ether raids, by being a light mythic hero. And Puny does so through her amazing support skills. And that's it. But before ranking them, I think I just should just say something. All of these units, regardless of player choice or builds, they all have amazing stats to go with, and they were all designed to be that way. They're not accident that somehow people can make them good by investing a lot on them. They were designed to be especially good. And there's no denying I'm discussing some of the most powerful units in Fire Emblem Heroes. And so if I just didn't comment a lot on one unit or another, it's because of my preference. It's because I didn't find it that useful or that powerful. But have in mind, all of these were made to be good and don't have to be invested on to be good. If you want one of these heroes, if you love, for example, the Binding Blade and want to get Legendary Roy, trust me, he is a good hero and he's going to perform well even in the long run, even with a lot of power creep. And about the ranking, I'll be ranking in 3 categories: my preference, fodder, and ether rate usage. In terms of my preference, I rank Altena first, second is Celica, third Julia, fourth Throsir, and fifth Om. In terms of fodder, which I think have the best skills or the most number of fodderable skills. Number 1 is Sothis, 2 Celica, Throsir is third, Puny is fourth, and Roy is fifth. And in ether rate usage, number 1 is Duma, 2 Puny, 3 Leaf, 4 Yoon, and 5th Naga. And well, that has been it for my review of all Legendary and Mythic heroes released in 2019. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment with your own opinions. Which heroes you think are the best ones, which rankings you think you would place them. And well, I'll see you next time on this long year in review, where next time I take a look at one hero from each new heroes banner released this year. Thanks for watching.